Hello everybody, you're watching Curious Pavel, the channel in which we take some history, put some curiosity and give it to you. Today we'll find out why and how King Henry had so many wives. Stay tuned. If you like those kind of stuff, please take a moment and subscribe to our channel. So, why are we here? Well, pretty simple. As we mentioned in our previous video about St. James's Palace, the palace was built by King Henry VIII. So now you're gonna find out his story and why he had so many wives. You're gonna love it. It's like soap opera. His story begins way before he was a king. He was actually the second son. His brother Arthur was married to a Spanish lady, Catherine of Aragon, because his father, King Henry VII, wanted to make a political alliance with Spain. That's why they got married. But Arthur died. So in order to keep that political alliance, King Henry VII marries the same lady to Arthur's brother, Henry VIII. They live happily for 18 years with one exception. She couldn't give him what he wanted the most, a son who can continue the name. Ideally he needs two sons in case something happened to the first one, like in the case with Arthur. She had around 6 pregnancy losses. She gave him a child, but it was a lady, Mary. Later Mary the First, the Bloody Mary, not because she liked the Bloody Mary, but because she killed way too many people. So Henry wanted a divorce, and being a good Catholic, he asked the Pope in Rome, hey, can I have divorce? The Pope says, no, are you nuts? King Henry says, but she cannot give me a child. She was married to my brother. The Pope says, it's not enough. So Henry started to think what he can do. A few Protestants came in the country and they said, listen, you're the king. You can do whatever you like. So he divorces the church in Rome. He established his own church, the Church of England, make himself the head of the church, and basically he asked, hey Henry, can I have a divorce? Oh Henry, sure, go ahead. He divorces the lady and then he looks for another wife. So he was already having 2 affairs. One of them was with Mary Boleyn, but he was already bored of her. So he goes to her younger version, her sister, Anne Boleyn. Anne, seeing what happened to her sister, basically says, if you want it, we're gonna put ring on it. So they married. They live happily for 3 years. She gives him a child, another daughter. This one is called Elizabeth, later Elizabeth I, which happens to be a very successful monarch. But rumors are she has several affairs. King Henry finds about this, takes her to the Tower of London and chops off her head. What's next? We need to look for another wife. His next capture is called Jane Seymour. She was actually lady in waiting for Anne Boleyn, which is one of those ladies that take care of the queen. They live happily, probably the only that the king loved, and she finally gave him what he wanted, a son. But she dies 2 weeks after the birth. There's no full happiness. Henry is devastated for a couple of years. Then he looks for another wife. He now takes a different approach. He calls his portrait painter and he sends him through Europe to paint all the beautiful ladies he can find. After a time, he comes back, lays all the portraits in one room, and Henry goes like this, like, that one. And he chooses Anne of Cleves. And he doesn't invite her to have a dinner. He doesn't even go to see her. He invites her directly to their wedding. He sees her for the first time as she walks down the aisle, and he finds out the problem of what people nowadays have with online dating. She looks nothing like her profile picture. So he divorces her, gives her the title Sister of the King, sends her to the north parts of England, where she lives happily ever after. But not Henry. He finds Catherine Howard this time, which was actually one of the maids of honor in his previous wedding. When they got married, she's 19 years old. He is 49. You can see what happens. She starts looking for men that are more her age. Henry finds about this, takes her to the Tower of London, and guess what? Chops off her head. He then finds another Catherine. She's 31, he's 52, and not long after, Henry finally dies. She then marries the brother of Jane Seymour. It's like a soap opera. There is a pretty interesting rhyme that can help you understand what happened. It goes like this: divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. So where to go next? You can click over here and find out why King Henry decided to build a palace like this, or you can click over here and see the video we made about Queen Elizabeth II. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.